Hey Joan, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. Everything up and running okay?
Yeah, okay, there we go.
Oh, I am going to stop the recording. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. This is the Career Development Workshop here at the Long Branch Public Library. My name is Mariela Osario, and I am the Career and Small Business Specialist here at the library. Thank you so much for joining us. Today, we are fortunate to have Joan Divor with us, who will be presenting her workshop, Your Personal Business Model, a one-page blueprint for a rewarding next chapter. But before we get started, I would like to remind everyone that this is an interactive workshop, and Joan will be happy to answer any questions. She will be actually, we do have a poll, and Joan will be asking questions of the audience. So if you're interested in participating, please feel free to raise your hand. If you would rather post your questions in our Q&A or chat, we will make pit stops along the way to address those questions. And of course, Joan will be happy to answer any questions or address any comments you may have. So with that, I would like to present you Joan Divor. Bear with me 1 second as I share my screen with you. And here we go. Give me 1 second. There we are. So Joan is an experienced trainer, facilitator, researcher, and library manager. In the 15 plus years as business services librarian at a county library system in the US, Joan helped hundreds of startups, business owners, and nonprofit managers start and grow their organizations with one-on-one consults, training workshops, and research assistance. Prior to that, Joan worked in the private sector, directing a business library and also managing market research and competitive analysis projects in the insurance and publishing industries. She is experienced in teaching business modeling tools, such as Business Model Canvas and related lean startup tools. She semi-retired in July 2019 and has since trained as a mastermind group facilitator and practitioner of Business Model U, the tool used in this workshop that is to help people reinvent their careers and work lives. She is currently collaborating with others internationally to develop an in-depth Model Business U program series. Born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, she currently lives in Voorhees, New Jersey, with her husband and young adult daughter. She enjoys rowing, hiking, dancing, and volunteering for SCORE, mentoring business owners and civic organizations, as well as having fun with friends and family. Welcome, Joan. Thank you so much for joining, for
Okay.
doing this for us. It is a pleasure to have you.
All right. Well, thank you, Mariella, for allowing me to come and welcome everybody. I can't see people, but I should I be able to? Well, I'm going to share my screen first, but
Yeah.
at some point, if some people raise their hand, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to around, but we'll just take it by ear and let's go. Okay. I'm going to start out by sharing my screen for my PowerPoint presentation. And so, hello, everybody. I'm guessing that you're here because you're exploring a job change or even a career change. And you may well have been there before. I certainly have, and I know that making life transitions can be tough. My goal today is to inspire you to try this one-page tool that can provide a way to look at your career and identify options for your next step. This is a tool that you can use for your current change that you're thinking about, as well as later on. In fact, anytime you need to revisit your work life. Business Model U is a one-page personal business model framework in which you can describe, analyze, and reinvent your career. So we're going to use tools and activities from this business model U to help you get ready to make a career or work-life change. This is a picture of the book. In your materials, you've gotten, since you signed up for this workshop, you've gotten an excerpt from that book. And I'm sure that you've all read it. No, never mind. So I also sent some pre-work stuff and exercises and activities for you to do, which I suspect that some of you may have started on, some of you did not. It's perfectly fine. We're going to take this very casual today. And I want you to get a sort of a basic, simple idea of what this tool is about. Try some things out while we're going through the workshop, and you know, use the tools afterwards at your convenience. So my goal is to inspire you, as I said, and to try it later. So this is the tool. It's called a personal business model canvas. There was a book that was put out, about 10 years ago called Business Model Generation. It introduced this new invention called the business model canvas. It's a unique visual way to summarize and creatively brainstorm any business or product idea on a single sheet of paper. The approach from the personal business model is, the idea is as a one-person business. By defining your personal business model, you have a powerful tool for assessing who you are and what you can do. By helping you to reveal and recognize your key strengths, your goals, the resources you have to offer, and your value proposition, what you offer to your customers, which would be whoever you're working for, or your real customers if it's a business. This single page blueprint can help you design a fulfilling next stage of your life. So here's, okay, our first shot at a poll. Okay, just want to find out, should I click the polling button? Okay, so we're just subjectively, where do you consider your career stage to be right now? Early, middle, later, or retirement? Should I hit launch? I guess I hit launch poll. There we go. Okay, so take a minute and fill out that poll. Oh boy, people are doing it. I'm so excited. Oh, wow. Everybody filled it out. And we've got people in the later stages and in retirement, one in retirement, and 5 people in the middle stages. And I guess I can relate to all of you. I had to make a change in the middle of my career. And now I guess I would say it's late/retirement. Been there. I'm doing that right now. So let me end that. Should I share the results? Let me see. How do I do that? Share results. There we go. Can people see that? I guess I'm doing this right. Okay, stop sharing. Okay. So let's close this. So now,
Excuse me, Joan.
yeah.
Forgive me for interrupting. We have one quick question.
Yeah.
What is middle and later
Well,
years?
as I said, this was, I did this sort of subjectively, and I said, you defined it as you wish. I mean, so I don't know, I didn't give it a real parameter. In my mind, I would say probably later career would be 50 plus, middle might be 30 to 50, and early might be, you know, teens through 30. But this is not, you know, I said, I basically wanted you to use your own definition. So I just wanted to get a sense for who I was speaking to in the audience. And what I got, the sense that I got is people that are mid to late career, and from there. So now I wanted to ask if anybody would like to share what brings you here today, specifically who you are, where you're from, and what would you like to change today. And this is where I'm wondering whether this is going to work. Mariella, should they put it in the chat? can someone raise their hand and we give them speaking privileges?
So audience, you have a couple of options. Feel free to raise your hand and we can call on you. Or if you feel more comfortable, you can include anything in the chat. And I'll be reading all of the chat notes, and I can address them to Joan. So it's totally
Okay.
up to you. For this to be a real interactive, because we librarians, we love our patrons, we love our people. It's always more, it's just more interesting when there's live interaction. So if you don't mind, feel free to raise your hand or just unmute yourself if you are muted and ask away. Again, this is a very down to earth,
Yes.
very open and flexible workshop. So we're here for you.
Anybody want to share? Okay. I see someone is saying, someone from Verona, New Jersey, Maria, transition seeking new opportunities. I presume you're saying job opportunities. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think that's all that I see here. Okay. Well, let's move ahead. And thank you for responding, Maria. Okay, I'm having a little bit of trouble with slide transition here, so just bear with me. Okay, so how can this business model help you? As I said before, it's a single page sort of visual blueprint that helps you to visualize and analyze where you are. Now, in order to make a change, it's good to know where you're starting from. So the technique here is to start out with this business model canvas and start out with what we call the as is. Put in where you are now. If you're in a job currently, fill that in. For me, I did an as is model for my last job before I retired, and I'm going to walk through that so you can see how the model is built. So it gives you a chance to assess who you are and what you can do, and identify what you want to change, and explore ideas for potential change options, and then develop a path to a further change. So today our objectives are to analyze and reflect on your current work life based on your as-is personal business model, and draft a to-be personal business model to begin addressing things you want to change, goals, and opportunities. Now, I just want to say two things regarding the fact that this is a 1-hour workshop. This workshop is typically several hours long. So today I'm going to be able to give you a taste of the workshop, of what the business model, personal business model canvas can do, and only a taste. I have a tendency to try to give people too much information. And that's why I sent all that pre-work stuff, but that's fine if you didn't have a chance to do it. That's the other thing is, I don't know how many of you had a chance to listen to any of the videos, look at any of the, try out an as-is model, look at any of the guides. So the goal today is to give you a taste of it. However much you have a chance to do before and during this workshop is fine. I'm going to walk you through an example, and during that time you can take some notes. And otherwise, you've got the tools that you can use after at your convenience. So now I'm going to, can we sort of see a show of hands of anybody who did do any attempt to, can you see that? Forgive me, I'm still working with not being sure. I don't know if we can do a show of hands, can we?
As a matter of fact, there are a couple of attendees who did not receive the tools, and I am in the process of emailing it to them as we speak.
So
Okay.
some of them, some of you may have tried some of this beforehand. Okay, okay. So we'll just move ahead. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let me see if I can fix this slide transition thing, business, it's not moving. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a minute and bring up another thing to bring up my case example. I'm sorry, this is getting weird. Hold on. Okay, here's where we want to be. Now, can you guys see? Wait, hold on. This is it. Okay. Now you can see, yes. Can you see a model, a sample business model canvas with some green blocks around it, everybody? Mariella?
Yes, I see it.
Okay, good. Okay. So here is a sample of a canvas. Let me bring it down a little smaller so you can see it a little better. I'm trying to find the right magnification where you can see stuff without it being too big or too small. I'm going to go through, this is a sample as is personal business model canvas. It's of me and it reflects where I was in 2019 as the business librarian in New Jersey County Library System. So as I said, starting from where you are. So I'm going to go through each block, tell you what it is, and show you what I put in there. So this might give you ideas if you haven't started yet, if you haven't worked on this at all beforehand, you can make some notes for yourself of what you might want to put in there, etc. So I hope that this is the right visibility. Let me see. Okay, so first block. What do I do? That's this block here. So I, and again, I'm reflecting my job as the business librarian at the county library. What do I do? What are the main activities that I do? Provide research help and create and run workshops. Who do I help? I help entrepreneurs and business owners. Okay, so think about your own as is and start thinking about what you would put in these blocks. How do I help them? That's important. What benefits do I provide? Another word for that is the value proposition. So here you're thinking about these customers, what you do, and what benefits it brings to them. So what benefits it brings to my customers is I get them unstuck when they've got a business related question and I'm able to answer it. I've unstuck them from that question. I get them unstuck. And the fact that I have the knowledge to train them or give them an answer or provide them with research help saves them time. Another thing that I found that they reflected to me was very beneficial was that in the workshops, not only was I providing them with information that they could use, I was also providing them with a chance to interact with their peers, with other business owners. And business owners find that very valuable. Peer connections can be very helpful, not only in a business situation, but also in a job search situation. You can learn so much from other people who are doing the same thing as you are and who are engaged in a similar transition. How do they know me and how do I deliver these services? That's here. At the library is mostly one-to-one contacts. Sometimes I would meet with them one-on-one, in workshops, and in presentations to the community. Again, I see this is a little small. I'll try to move it in and I'll enlarge it later too. So how do they know you and how do you deliver your services? That's something else that you need to answer. There is a handout in the materials that I sent you that that is a list of questions you can ask yourself to help you fill in that these help you fill in these boxes. Again, I'm focusing here on as is, my latest career, which was my last job in 2019. Continuing on, what roles do I play? How do what is my relationship to these customers? And that's up here. I function as a connector, connecting them to answers or to people that have the answers, as a trainer, and as a guide through the library resources and other tools that they can use to help them with their business challenge. What do I get for it? Okay, what's the benefit to me? What do I get? That's down here. A salary, a structure to my life, and a reward. It's very rewarding to help other people. That's one big driver for me, is to use my abilities and my training and my skills to help others. So as you can see, when you talk about compensation and rewards, in the personal business model, you're talking not just about objective facts, like I get paid and I get vacation, stuff like that. You can also talk about things that are important to you personally. That's how it goes beyond sort of the business model canvas, which focuses very much on business related things, because the reward of helping others, that's important to me. And as you see, when we start thinking about the 2B model, some of the things that you want to change might be things about your current work situation that impact you personally, not just related to what's on the job. Okay, and that's what I get. Who helps me? Who are my key partners? Key partners in that job were business serving organizations like SCORE, who I collaborated with to offer services to our customers, and library colleagues, both in my library and in other libraries. People like Mariella, who, if I had known her then, I'm sure we would have done more together. But you know, don't you find, Mariella, that other librarians throughout the state and even throughout the country are always willing to help each other?
Absolutely. We're like one big happy family.
That's right. That's right. And finally, a couple more things. What are the costs? Okay, this is what I get. This is what I give. Costs to me, time. It was a full-time job. That presented some work-life balance challenges to me as I got closer to the idea of retiring. And energy. Okay. Who you are, that's an important one. This is an important one to think about, because what this is what is your uniqueness? What are the talents that you're most proud of or that most strongly define you? Can you think of a unique set of talents that makes you special? These are the things that you can leverage, that you are leveraging now and maybe can leverage more when you think about your 2B model. So for me, it was because people knew me and because people tend to realize that librarians are laser focused on giving trusted information and vetted information. So I was trusted. I'm a research wonk and always have been. Love doing research and pretty good at it. And I'm an empathetic communicator, which means I know how to listen to people and I know how to talk to people and ask questions so that I can find out what's really going to be what they really want. And reference librarians, that's their stock in trade, right, Mariella?
Absolutely.
The reference interview.
Yes.
It requires listening and feeding back to people. Is this what's going to do it for you? Because sometimes it's not what you think at the beginning. So as you can see, I walked through the creation of a business model canvas. by doing that, I was trying to give you a sense of the definition of each box and what you can put in there, what I've put in there by using that as an example, what you can put in there. Again, this is your to be, this is where you are now. So maybe this would be a time to stop. I don't know whether you wrote down any notes of what you wanted to put in yours while you were listening, or whether you have any questions. This might be a good time to break for questions, because this was my, sort of detailed run through, and I wanted to make sure that if there's something important that I didn't respond to, if anybody has a question.
Again, feel free to use the chat or raise your hand if you'd like, or just speak up. Or we can leave any questions or comments towards the end of the workshop if you'd like.
Okay.
So,
all right. So this, where we are at now, is an as is personal business model. That's important because it tells you where you are. But where this becomes truly valuable is when you use it to reflect on where you are and decide what you might want to change as you plan your next step. So back to the slideshow. See if I can do this. Hold on. Let's stop share and close this. And give me a second. I'm trying to work this out. Okay.
in the meantime, shout out to Maria, Stuart, Katrina, Carla. I did send those resource tools via email to you, so please make sure that you did receive them, number one, and that you are able to access them. Some of them may be in the form of a zip file. Others may just be, I forwarded them from Joan's earlier email. So
okay.
Just want to make sure everyone gets their resource tools.
Now, can you see my slides now?
No.
Wait, hold on a second.
I can't see them.
Hold on, let me get back into Zoom. Share screen. This will work. Now you can?
Yes, we can.
Okay. We've all become Zoom experts, right? Not quite yet. Okay. So let's assume you've done your as-is business model. Okay. As I said, that's the first part. That's where you are. Now we want to talk about your potential, where you want to be. That's the important thing, is the change you want to make. Think about where you would like your career to be 3 years from now, and where that would show up in your new to-be personal business model canvas. So to help you to do that, I included a worksheet. Again, I know a lot of you haven't had a chance to work on it or look at it or even receive it yet, but I included a worksheet that's called Getting Ready to Create To-Be Revision of Your Personal Business Model. And the next couple of slides are things that you can do to help you to fill in that worksheet and give you a chance to brainstorm about where you want to be. So the first thing to do is look at your as-is business model and see what in there, we're talking about pains, what in there do you want to change? And once you identify one, where does that fit in the box? In which box does that fit in on the business model canvas? So I'll give you a simple example. That is one of the things that I wanted after I retired was I didn't want to work full time anymore, but I didn't want to stop working. So in the box called what you get, I put in part-time income. And I said that one of my pains is that I don't want to work full-time hours, even though I do want to still be in a professional role. So think about the pains and opportunities within specific boxes. So for me, an opportunity would be, okay, I'm either going to look for a part-time job or I'm going to try to be self-employed part-time. So think about one or two of your most significant pain points or things you want to change, and one or two things that might be opportunities. And in talking about opportunities, you can look at any box, and I'll show you that. I'll reinforce that when I show you my 2B canvas. I'm going to walk you through that like I did with the other one. So you can change the roles that you want to play. Maybe I was a trainer and a connector and a guide. Maybe I only want to be a trainer now. Okay. So think, and that's once you start thinking about the pain points, which is, let's say, wanting to work fewer hours, there's an opportunity. Maybe I don't target the same people. Maybe I need some training. Okay. So think about where you'd like your career to be in 3 years from now and where that would show up on the canvas. Would it show up in compensation? Would it show up in who you would help, who your customers are? Which elements of who you are, your talents and your skills do you want to use? Do you need to grow something new? So that continues on to generating new possibilities. And again, this worksheet that I gave you, no, I don't know. I told you what it's called. Hopefully you can find it. There's also a column that says, look at each building block in the canvas and think about, is this something that I want to add or improve? Is this something that I want to remove? Do I want to grow something new? Do I want to reduce it? Okay, so jot down notes about that. And again, what this is leading you to do is to think of new possibilities that will take you from where you are to where you want to be. So, and another thing that is really useful, and I kind of touched on this when I spoke about the box called Who You Are and What You Have. What's your superpower? Okay. What do you, and this I found when someone asked me this question, I was going through this process myself, I found that it was really helpful because I hadn't really thought of the fact that I'm pretty good at being an empathetic listener, but I never thought of that in terms of like a superpower or something to even put on the canvas. But it turns out that it's really important in not only in the job that I had, but in the work that I want to do. It's important to think about your personal qualities and how they might apply to your career, in addition to just, okay, I'm an accountant, so I know how to do accounting. Okay. What do you naturally excel at? What do people often ask you for help with? What would people who know you well say are your natural gifts? Ask them. You might be surprised what you find out. So again, you can use the worksheet that I provided to jot down notes about that. So I'm going to hopefully shift back to that, to my 2B model and walk you through the changes that I made. The key points is that I found pain point in wanting more flexibility. Well, let me walk through it and hopefully this will not be a problem. Okay, so now, can you see my 2B one now? What do you see on the screen? Maybe I should stop and start again.
Let's see. Want to be self.
Can you see my 2B model?
The career changers.
Yes,
to be
that's it.
self-employed. Yep.
Oh my God, it took us 1 second to do it, Mariella. We're getting better at this. Okay, so this is my 2B model, okay? I'm gonna walk you through that. And while I'm doing it, think about what you want to change for yourself and some thoughts for yourself. In other words, I'm doing this to help you do yours, not to showcase mine per se, okay? So, but I thought it was a good example because I know it pretty well. So what do I do? Here's what my 2B model is right now. To lead business model U workshops and to manage and facilitate mastermind groups. During COVID, I took training to be a mastermind group facilitator, and I took training to become a business model U practitioner because I wanted to make that, leverage that into some part-time work. As I said before, my pain points had to do with the fact that I wanted a more flexible schedule, even though I still wanted to be professionally involved. So who am I helping? Career changers, all right? So career changers, it's not the exact, I changed my sort of target market. It's somewhat different than entrepreneurs and business owners, but it's, there might be some overlap there. People that are in transition trying to grow something new. How do I help? What's my value proposition? And that's what I put in there. Provide them with a toolkit like the business model, personal business model canvas, and other tools and activities that I'm able to provide to give them a path forward. And because of the mastermind group training that I took, I'm thinking to combine business model U training programs with creating mastermind groups of career changers. Mastermind groups are peer groups of people who are trying to accomplish goals. They share wisdom, they provide support for each other, and they provide accountability for each other, and they help each other get over obstacles. That's what a mastermind group is. So since I have done a lot of facilitating as a trainer and workshop creator, I thought, I took the training in mastermind facilitation. My idea is that maybe career changers would like not only a workshop, but also a mastermind group to help them while they're going through their change and to provide peer support and a peer community. So that's my proposed value proposition. How do they know and how do I deliver? Webinars, through a website, through social media. My roles and relationships, a trainer and facilitator. This is all similar to what already being done. What I get, again, I'm energized by using my skills. I would get a more flexible lifestyle and a part-time income. Who helps me keep partners? Other people who are other consultants or companies or organizations who are helping career changers. I could form alliances and partnerships with them. From a personal standpoint, I might seek out my own mentors to help me do this change. And also, again, since this is a personal business model, I can say my family support is also going to be very critical. What I give, right now it's sweat equity. I'm experimenting with all this stuff. So I'm doing a lot of things. So far, no income, but hopefully it'll grow into something. I'm involved in some projects that may be. And costs of doing business, not very much, but there are some costs. And a sense of isolation. You know, when you're working on something by yourself, especially during COVID, you can feel isolated. So that tells me that to do this, I'm going to have to, you know, find ways to network with others that are involved in similar initiatives. And who am I and what I have? I'm good at sharing knowledge. I have experience and training and the ability to facilitate engagement. Again, the empathetic communicator will help me here. And I've been there, done that. So I think that people who are involved in career changing, I can relate to that because I've done it. And so we have a shared understanding. So this is my to-be model. Think about your own to-be model. Think about working through that worksheet. And again, maybe I feel like I should go through the previous slides just to review. Because this is where the potential starts to be analyzed. Identifying the pains and opportunities, associating them with specific boxes on that canvas. Jot them down and think about the most significant pain points or some opportunity points. Think about where you'd like your career to be 3 years from now and how that would show up on your new canvas. Use the worksheet to generate new possibilities. What do you want to change? Add, remove, grow something new. In my case, I took some training to try to leverage my existing experience into new areas. And what's your superpower? What makes you special? What combination of skills, abilities, and traits make you special? And how does that open up opportunities for you? So my next suggestion is that you, well, if you had already created an as-is model, it would be, the next step would be to create a to-be model, a model that you would like to test and pursue, okay? And, you know, I think at one point, we were talking about having people do it here and now. I think so many people didn't get the materials that it would not be practical. But let's talk about creating the to-be model. Let me ask now, though, Mariella, I'd like to see if anybody would like to throw in a question here.
Would anyone like to ask a question or comments for Joan? Again, feel free to raise your hand, use the chat, or we also have a Q&A, whatever you'd like.
Yeah. Only thing I can see, oh wait, hold on. I can't see the Q&A, I can see the chat. If I click the Q&A, nothing happens.
No, we don't have
Okay.
anything in the Q&A right now.
Oh, okay, good enough. All right, let me continue then. I don't see anything in the chat.
No.
Can you see people if they're raising their hands?
I should be able to if people are interested. Again, on the bottom right-hand side where it says more, if you click on that, oh no, maybe not. Oh, there's a little icon with the hand. Just click on that and we can see who wants to ask a question, and then we can call on you if you're interested in raising your hand and asking Joan a question or making a comment on anything you've seen or heard today so far.
Okay.
Nothing.
Yeah, I'm not getting, I'm not seeing the
No,
raised hand.
I think you're good to continue. I'll let you know
Okay.
if anything pops up.
Yeah, I'm getting a freeze up again here. Okay, hold on. There we go. Okay, so the as is to tell you where you are. The to be is to stretch into looking at the potential for the future. Couple points about creating the to be model. When you create a to be model, you have to realize that some of the things you're putting down are things that you would look at as facts, like knowing your skills, knowing your abilities. Some of them are assumptions. So, for example, I'm making an assumption, perhaps, that career changers might want a combination of a workshop on business model, personal business model, canvas creation, and other tools and activities, and combined with a mastermind group. That's an assumption that I'm going to have to test. So when you're talking about to be, you have to realize that sometimes that some of what you're saying is an assumption. And that's something that you're going to have to try out and test. I'm having difficulty changing the slides again. Hold on, give me 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, so ways that you can test. Does anybody have any thoughts about how, if you have an assumption on your canvas, you would test it? Anybody jumping in? No? Okay, well, you can volunteer at an organization that you might be interested in. You can ask in your current job to try other things, take on a special project. You can talk with people that are doing what you're thinking about doing, etc. So there's any number of ways that you can test them. That could be a subject of a whole nother workshop. So in summary, today I gave you a taste of the tools and activities from Business Model U to help you get ready to make a career and work-life change using the Personal Business Model Canvas. Again, I would like to just say that this workshop is usually several hours long with a lot of interactive activity. So, I'm really appreciative of your time taking this workshop. And if you give your email to Mariella, I'll send you some more activities. But I'm really interested in, I don't know why all of a sudden I'm having trouble recording the slides. Hold on a second. There. Okay. So realize that in order to test your model, you have to get out of the building and try it. Get out and talk to people, get out and try something on a part-time basis or on an ad hoc basis. And your model is going to change over time. As you're in transition now, you may be transitioning someplace else in the future. As I said, this is actually the first time I've given this short version of the workshop. It's kind of an experiment, so I'm really interested in your feedback. I hope it was enough to at least give you a taste of the power of this tool to help you create a vision from the present to the future, and then execute that vision. Like I said, limited time, I was only able to give you a taste, but I would love your feedback on what you might like to see from a longer workshop, or if you would be interested in a longer workshop.
Absolutely, Joan. Again, I have forwarded the resource tools that you sent to those who requested it. Please, if any of you, if it was an oversight on my part, please email me and let me know. I'll be more than happy to forward that to you. Again, like Joan mentioned, this is kind of like an introductory version of this personal business model. And thank you so much, Joan, for this very thought-provoking presentation, and for everything for all of the handouts and everything that you do. So thank you.
Mariella, will there be an evaluation?
We do have all of the attendees have the option of sending me their thoughts post-program. So those of you who are interested in evaluating today's program, please feel free to fill out that form. I'll automatically get a copy of it. So yes, and I'll be happy to forward that to you. Yes. Again, as you see, you have Joan's email at the bottom of your screen. So if you have questions, if you're interested on more details or perhaps a one-on-one consultation,
or a longer workshop or something like that.
Or if any of you are interested in a more detail-oriented workshop, based on this personal business model, please feel free to reach out to me or Joan,
Yes.
and we'll be happy to accommodate you. So any questions? Any comments? Any suggestions from the audience? No. Well, I would like to, again, I'm going to share my screen very quickly. The library has two new, wait, bear with me. We have two new services that we would like to share with you. And the first one is a job search to go. And this is more of a personalized career packet catered to your goals and your needs. We will also include tips and resources, again, based on your situation. So again, please feel free to reach out, and we can create a job search to go. And we are also offering career and business coaching. That is a new service that the library is offering. And what our goal is to help those of you who may be streaming, who may be striving for that dream job, or looking for a position that perhaps matches your passion, or you want to increase your current skills, or perhaps even start a new business. What career coaching and business coaching involves is evaluating your values, your capabilities, developing that personal brand, getting yourself out there, giving you the confidence to discover new opportunities, or perhaps build on the current skill sets that you currently have. And again, feel free to reach out to me. I am a certified career and business coach, and I will be happy to assist you any way I can.
Mariella, I think somebody has a hand up.
Yes, I do see something here.
Right.
Oops, bear with me. I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Mm-hmm.
And oops. I don't know if anyone had, I have a comment. Okay, wait, someone had a comment.
Yeah, can you unmute them, or someone had a hand?
They are not muted. Guys, you should not be muted. So just double check that your mic is not muted. It's on the bottom left-hand corner. If you have any comments, suggestions, or questions, please feel free to, I can't see who has the
No,
comment.
I don't know who had the hand up before. I don't see.
Yeah.
Oh, Cecilia Russ. Cecilia?
Cecilia.
Yeah.
Okay. Cecilia, you can speak up. I don't see that you're muted. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. I am so sorry, Cecilia. Here you go. I am unmuting. There you go, Cecilia. How are you? Welcome.
Hello, thank you very much. Well, I enjoyed this very much. What I'd like to ask you, though, is I don't know if anybody else listening in had the same problem. It's not the first time that I've seen this model. I personally have found it quite difficult to fill out.
Mm-hmm.
The reason being is if you have had a career which has involved an awful lot of areas of work and abilities, skill sets, and so forth, it's quite difficult to nail down what is it that you're really good at and who you are in order to make that career transition to a different industry or to get another job. I mean, I was laid off from quite a high-powered job because of the pandemic. I was no longer attending any trade shows or industry events, etc. And so suddenly my life came to a complete and utter halt.
Mm-hmm.
And although the world has changed to virtual, it's not working very well that way in my particular industry.
Mm-hmm.
which is insurance, it's very much a people industry. So it's very difficult when you can't go out and about and meet people. So I actually found it really complicated trying to fill out that model by myself. And I was wondering, is there any help from anywhere to help me and anybody else that has that issue filling it out? What I did do is I filled it out, but then I thought, not very powerful, doesn't really do very much for me. If I was reading this myself, I wouldn't think very much. So therefore, it doesn't seem like I can sell myself. So is there any help for us in maybe another session to home in on this, or?
Yeah. Well, I think, like I said, this workshop is just a taste. The full workshop can be, 4 or 6 hours long, and involves a lot of interactive and proactive stuff, and a lot of background and other activities that support it. So I don't know whether you said when you tried to fill the model out, whether you did the sort of here I am in the present and then tried to get to here where I want to be, because that's sort of where the synergy might come in, if you know what I mean. Like, so I'm not sure whether I'm answering your question. I do think that it was a struggle for me to put this together into something that would only be an hour. There are other exercises and tools that go with it that you would find in the book excerpt, as well as I could send you some things. But I guess the question is, it's entirely possible that you might get more benefit out of a longer, a more interactive and a more proactive workshop that not only included a facilitator, but also included peers, because there's a lot of sort of peer brainstorming along with it, and that type of thing. So I'm not sure if I'm addressing your concern or not, but does that resonate with you at all? What I'm saying?
No, that makes sense. But are the organizers of this particular course today going to permit any more courses about this subject?
Well, that's something. Go ahead, Mariella.
Yes, if it's something that interests you, we could certainly do perhaps a more detail-oriented continuation of today's workshop. And I will be more than happy to set that up with our presenter, Joan, and just be on the lookout for, actually, I think since there seems to be interest, we could do a part 2, and I will be setting up the details of the workshop, and we can send, everyone's been added to our email list. If you do not want to be on that email list, again, please let me know. We don't want to bombard you with stuff that you're not interested in. But this is the way we communicate with all of our patrons and our community for those who are interested in pursuing and continuing their career development at whatever stage they may be. And we have different topics. And again, I can coordinate with Joan, and we can set a part 2 with a more
and really what I said at the end, and I'd like to emphasize again, is that that this workshop is a taste of it, and in your evaluations, or how I would love for you to include, I presume you've got some kind of open-ended thing on the evaluation. What would you, if we had a longer workshop, what would you like to see?
Right.
What you liked and what you didn't like, because all this stuff is open for improvement. We're constantly in improvement mode.
Absolutely. I see that Stuart has a question, has his hand raised. Stuart, welcome.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, something just occurred to me while I was watching and listening to this, and I know many people who are, especially in career transition, work hard at their 30, 60-second elevator speech or their introductory speech and things like that. And one of the things that always strikes me when I hear people use that elevator speech, and we'll just call it that, is that they struggle to kind of make sure that someone really understands in a relatively short period of time what they're all about. And looking at this business model that you've created for individuals.
I haven't created it. I've trained it. I've trained it.
all of the points
for that, but I can't. Yeah.
Okay. That's beside the point, because you're the one that's here now with us. So
yeah,
all the points that are collected in these 9 boxes, if you will, all, if you look at each one and you put in one really important point within each of those boxes, you can actually craft a really great 30 or 60-second presentation of yourself.
yeah,
Sort of your whole value proposition and who you are and what you are in a very short period of time can come from just simply filling out key points in those 9 boxes.
yeah.
And as I listened to you and watched what you said, it just struck me that this is really a great way to pull that information together and create a very simple, straightforward way of presenting yourself in a very brief period of time.
Yes,
Just a comment that I wanted to make.
No, actually, let me address that in a sense, because I had training in both the business model canvas for organizations and the personal business model. And in the in-depth training, what you usually do is after you create one, you tell a story based on it. And you see that you've pulled together some really key points. The point in creating the one-page canvas is that you don't necessarily have to go into immense detail in every box. Pick the most cogent points. It's a bird's eye view. And as such, it can serve as a basis for creating an elevator pitch, particularly in the boxes that talk about who your customers are, what your value is offering, and who you are and what makes you unique. And you will, what we find is that, that you can take this canvas and use it to tell a story. And that story is fairly, if you use it to just put in the most important points in there, the key points in as few words as possible, that it's a very good way to formulate a story that can very easily be a pitch. And we were doing that during our training.
Excellent.
Thank you for your comments, Stuart.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for this session. It's been great.
Oh, I'm glad you liked it. Thank you.
All right. And just FYI, an attendee is interested in a follow-up workshop. So perhaps, Joan, you may want to start thinking
Yes, we'll have
more. Yeah.
I have an idea
again,
about that, because I have an idea I can surface with you when we talk.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you, everyone, for taking the time to join us for this very interesting and thought-provoking workshop. Again, feel free to fill out the follow-up survey, your thoughts, your comments. We welcome any suggestions you may have, any future topics that you might be interested in. Please reach out to me. You can also call the library, the Long Branch Public Library here in New Jersey, and ask for Mariella, and I will be happy to discuss your goals, your needs, anything that you would like. So thanks again, everyone, for attending. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And if anyone, again, I forgot to mention this earlier, we do record all our events. If you are interested in a copy of the recording, again, reach out to me. I'll be happy to forward a copy of today's recording. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.
We'll be seeing you soon. Cecilia, I look forward to our meeting later on.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Cecilia, for your comments.
Oh, thank you very much. It's very helpful.
Thank you.
I'll stay
Take
on
care,
for-
everyone.
touch base with you, Mariella.
Yes.